bearing is an angle. And it's the angle of the direction in which you want to go in, taken from the north direction. So if I'm standing here at point A, and I want to go over here to point B, so the direction I'm going to walk in or travel in is this way. I'm going to go this over here. But if I wanted to know in what direction to set off in, then I have a fixed point north, and I measure the distance, the angle around until I'm looking at point B. So I'm basically, all I'm doing is I'm measuring that angle there. So if I was to put my protractor on the page and measure that angle, say for example that is 55 degrees, then I would say that the bearing of B from A, so I'm travelling from A to B, from A is 0, 5, 5. So a bearing is always given as a three digits. It has to be 3 digits. So if my angle is 55 degrees, I'm going to give the bearing of 0, 5, 5. If my angle was a little bit bigger, so say for example, I'm still standing at A, but I'm going to travel down here, and now I'm going to put B there. So I'm going to measure the angle so that what bearing am I going to set off on, start with north, measure the angle round with my protractor, say for example that's 130 degrees, and the bearing of B from A would be 130, because this time I have 3 digits. So the bearing is 130. Let's do another example. Say I'm standing here, we'll change the letter, let's say X, and I'm going to travel to Y, so right the way around. So again, I fix my north. North is always, and on an exam question, north is nearly always straight up the page as it is on a map. So I've got to decide I'm going to walk from X to Y, so I have to measure that angle all the way around, and you always go clockwise round in order to measure the angle. So say for example that was 260 degrees, then my bearing of Y from X is 260. And sometimes you're then asked to say, well, once you get to Y and you want to set off back to X, what's the bearing to return back to X? So we can do that as well. So I'm at Y, I'm going to go back to X. So what have I got to do? Put in my north angle. So this would be north. Always got to put in north, even if they don't give it to you. And then you've got to measure that angle there. And whatever that angle is going to be a bearing. Do one more example. So let's start at A, and I want to travel to B. So I'm at A and I want to travel at B. So I have to put the line in from A to B, and I also have to put my north line in, and then measure that angle. Say for example it's 105 degrees, so my bearing would be 105. If I then want to travel back to A, I put my north line in, I measure the bearing all the way around. Say for example the angle is 295, then the bearing would be 295.